system. Activating combat mode.
Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm looking forward to this. Vaati's video has been so good. Whoa, starting up to 10 people on YouTube. Yo, we all must be excited for there's the final ending as I am. Welcome in, Nurgle. As always, perennial, the first one here. Thank you, Reader Plus. Welcome your Plus. Yo, Niles, finishing your first playthrough. Sweet. Awesome. Well, I hope that, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're knowing this is the third ending spoiler. So I'm assuming you've seen the endings. I hate to spoil it for you because this is gonna. I mean, you want to talk about the way to spoil the ending of like the third ending of Armored Core 6. This would definitely do it in spades. So, oh, you want to know my name is on there? Yep, it's it'd be cleric _ armored _ core on Twitch. Man, all kinds of people are here. What's going on, everybody? Lana, what's up? Good to see you. Niles, I hope you do well on your last playthrough. Yeah, the I thought Air was probably the hardest boss fight. I know everyone probably thinks it's probably all Iguasu, as I like to call it here, but I think Air, just because like the ghost things are just annoying. Now I've seen speedrunners like make it look like it's a joke. But yeah, it's good luck on it. I know that the first boss fight, getting it in, is a big deal, so I hope he goes well for you. Who else get? Niles said hi to Lana. Niles, welcome in. Altius, greetings. James, good to see you. Marbillion, good to see you. Oh, Nineball, oh, that's you on the YouTube side, Lana. Got you. Okay, cool. Well. Alrighty. Well, let's get after it here. Let's watch the third ending, shall we? We have 40 minutes of this video left to go of a 5.5 hour monstrosity. Without further ado.
In this third ending we're about to discuss,
quite the party
where
down there.
Air has it within her
is
to be
right.
quite ruthless about achieving that goal, especially if it's what you want as well. This is the third timeline and ending of Armored Core 6. Alia iacta est. The die is cast. The timeline for this ending pivots much earlier in the story, most notably in the mission to reach the Coral Convergence, where Allmind clues you into the fact that Snail will ambush you here, and Allmind tells you this because she can't afford to lose you to Arquebus.
Looks like you're clear. Keep moving.
Switching to encoded channels. Augmented Human C4621, Raven. V2 Snail intends to dispose of you once your utility is spent. Proceed blindly, and you will find yourself a prisoner of the corporations. We will transmit his coordinates. Eliminate him. Allmind will handle the rest.
Confirmed, it's V2 Snail. We're clear to ambush him.
Snail's base of operation within the sewers where he belongs is shown again here in a video record you can loot.
Vaati throwing shade. I gotta hear it again.
Where he belongs. Snail's base of operation within the sewers where he belongs.
Snail is in the sewers where he belongs. Oh, that feeds the soul right there. Yeah, everyone hates Snail for good reason too. Dude, that right there. That's what's been so good about this lore video, is that it's like so serious and so in depth, and then all of a sudden just random pinpoint accurate humor. Like there's been so many of those, it's hilarious. Oh,
is shown again here in a video record you can loot in the next mission. This video record reveals performance tests of an unpiloted AC, experiments that are specifically being performed by Freud's unpiloted locksmith AC, with the AC in the foreground almost certainly belonging to Snail.
Yeah.
We can infer that this is Snail because his AC is now equipped with the same stun needle that Arquebus designed to take down the ice worm. And this wouldn't be the first time that Snail has used others to test technology before making their strengths his own. His bio reads, "After receiving Generation 8 augmentation surgery, Snail continued to receive follow-up treatments as new technologies entered the mainstream, so as to make their merits his own. Many augmented humans have died in order to assure the safety of his repeated adjustments." So, what was Snail testing in this arena previously? Well, the log, which also sounds as if it was from him, reads, "I see no significant difference in performance compared to what an AI can achieve. How very disappointing. This experiment was another failure then. Regardless, I will have answers. The arrival of ACs brought the age of unpiloted craft to an end, but what essential difference makes them superior? Send a message to the factory. Have them leave the torso intact next time." There's a lot to unpack here. Starting at the end, you might remember the factory, which was mentioned earlier, and it's a place where captured pilots who were resistant to re-education were being sent for processing. So, turns out, these captured pilots are being taken from the factory now for experiments, and the people coming from this factory are not all in one piece. The fact that Snail specifies to leave the torso intact next time suggests that there's only something like a pilot's brain, or nerves even, piloting the AC in this test. And
it sounds like a Snail thing to do.
That the lack of a body might be
that would make
what
sense.
is
That sounds like a Snail thing to do.
Experiment to fail. But what is Snail actually testing for here? Well, basically he's trying to figure out what essential differences make piloted craft so much more effective
real disrespect
than
is killing
AI
Snail with Loader
unpiloted
4.
craft. And perhaps he thinks he can find this answer by inserting these dissected pieces of pilots into this AC, bit by bit, until he finds that essential difference. But in the end, the best answer to his question comes from Allmind, who, in her Nightfall analysis, observes that the independent mercenaries are the best representatives of core theory put into practice. Each and every operation of their ACs determines the odds of their survival, and so they have no choice but to perceive their ACs as extensions of their bodies. Many parts in the game have descriptions that reveal that earlier versions of mechanized warfare in this universe was done at long range and by unpiloted craft. However, with the arrival of armored cores came this realization that piloted craft could outperform unpiloted craft because of their survival instinct, basically, as Allmind points out. And as this handgun description elaborates...
Niles makes a point. In all reality, Loader 4 is probably one of the single best starting ACs in the entire Armored Core series. Like, that's not a joke. Like, legitimately, your starter AC in 6 is probably the best starter AC in the entire series. Like, it can legit do damage output. You can run Loader 4 and beat the game. Like, it's good. So I mean, is it the best of the game? Of course not. But you legitimately get a decent missile. That small missile pack is really good. There's some argument about the rifle not being the best, which is kind of true, but good from PvE and missions. But the pulse blade is just ridiculous. So yeah, that Loader 4 loadout's probably the best starter AC's ever had.
Elaborates core theory introduced a new kind of close quarters combat, and with it the reappraisal of things like handguns and melee weapons, which could be used by these human pilots forced to get in close.
I love it, just styles on Snailtius here. It's so good.
Putting their own lives on the line, something an AI cannot understand. So that's what core theory is. It's the theory that fighting at close range is more effective because of survival instinct, basically. And it reminds me a bit of Gundam, which I've been watching recently, where they sort of also go out of their way to justify a reason why these mechs have to fight in close combat, when if they didn't come up with an excuse for this, it would be easy to rationalize that these mechs shouldn't exist, but there are reasons why. In Gundam, it's Minovsky particles. In Armored Core 6, it's core theory.
What's going on with our comms? Change the frequency. We'll report to HQ later.
Stupid grin on his face.
This had better not be one of that handler's tricks. Who goes there?
We've been spotted.
LS Gaming? LS Laser Energy Shotgun? Dagger?
Independent mercenary Raven.
Laser Blade?
Leave it to a mutt to sniff me
Doing
out.
dirty.
But how did you find me? I'll pick your AC's wreck for answers.
There you are. Just like they said. You're gonna die, freelancer!
That I see. It's Gun 5 Iguasu.
Balaam, what are you doing here?
You. The guy from the Iceworm mission with a stick up his ass.
And you're not the only one. No wonder I felt so nauseated.
It's my lucky day. I don't like you either. I'll kill the both of you!
Legacy augmentation. You disgust me. Rabid dogs. You'll die together.
I'm nobody's dog!
Three-way fight.
Impossible.
Yeah, kill Snail first. Although I'm not a fan of Iguana
VTUBER
either.
Snail down.
At this point in the game, Iguasu has clearly started to factor into All Mind's calculations. He's even started to equip a bunch of her own AC parts on his mech.
By the way, now I was about to say this to you earlier, thanks to Plus Escapee, I think it was Plus's thing yesterday. The air ending shall forever be known as the divorce ending. Just FYI. From this point on, the air ending, the Fires of Raven ending, is known as the divorce ending. That's officially its name.
Replacing previous pieces like his shield. And as a 4th gen augmented human like us who can hear the coral to a degree, All Mind has identified Iguasu as a potential trigger for coral release. Though at this point he isn't allied with a wave mutation, and he struggles to hear air without experiencing excruciating pain and paranoia.
That damn noise again! Freelancer, you're doing this, aren't you? Make it stop. Make it... It's inside my head! You're all laughing at me, aren't you?
All Mind has clearly sent Iguasu here to fight us. I feel like this is pretty questionable logic from her, because she's putting Iguasu, one of her prospects, at risk. But I guess it makes it clear that All Mind really only needs one exceptional augmented human to succeed in coral release, so she pits Iguasu against us here. I figure her reasoning is that if Iguasu wins, he'll be able to claim our wave mutation and become her coveted 3rd factor for coral release.
I would argue differently, actually. I would argue that if it is All Mind that sent Iguasu, she sent him to make him even more desperate and more willing to take on the whole All Mind, like AI controlled persona, and join the AI as an AI himself. Like make him so desperate that he more willingly accepts that part of himself into the AI collective, so to speak. Like basically make him like, you know what, fine, I guess I'll just join you and be part of you now. So that would be more my take on that. If it really is All Mind who sent him, he sent him out there basically to finalize the assimilation, so to speak.
To help confirm this theory,
exactly.
All Mind does have cut dialogue here that was at some point supposed to play in this mission, where she boasts that we have disappointed her.
Raven, you have disappointed us. We have found your replacement.
Maybe she even hopes Iguasu would win here, as 621 comes with the burden of having a troublesome handler she'll have to deal with. She probably would prefer just to use Iguasu, but instead All Mind is forced to make plans for our handler, and we take out Iguasu here, although it's not the last we'll see of him, regrettably.
Regrettably. Yep, Vaati, throw that shade. Iguana deserves it. He deserves
Gun
it.
5, Iguasu down. We did it.
Augmented human C4621, Raven. Well done. Now you are one with us. Welcome to Allmind.
In this next mission, we're essentially tasked with making it to the surface so that we can rendezvous with Allmind. Only problem is, a significant number of Arquebus forces have crawled into the depths since we last came. And
that's correct.
Getting out isn't exactly easy. Fortunately for us, Allmind seems to have temporarily commandeered the Watchpoint's remaining defenses, causing absolute chaos.
What? What are these things? I don't know how, but the Watchpoint's defenses are back online.
Corporate stragglers still remain within the Watchpoint. We have made some adjustments to ensure that they will not be a threat.
Fire! If they're not with us,
Be a shame if something happened to your watch point.
We need to get out of here.
Be a shame if something happened to you.
Open the partition!
No, don't!
Without their leadership, the corporations are powerless.
Oh, that's a nice touch. I
A
like
chain
that.
made of human links is easily broken.
So devious.
AC, ID unknown. It's all going wrong, and that AC's to blame! This is hell. We're in hell! Wait, we found a Balaam straggler! Damn you, Arquebus!
Is that Gun 13? Gun 13 Raven. Good timing. Help me out!
With Michigan's death, Balaam's forces fall apart in the depths, but somehow Gun 6 Red managed.
Yeah, that's extremely true. Like, if Michigan's gone, Balaam's done. Like, he's the glue. Like, they all fight for Balaam basically because of Michigan. Once Michigan's gone, it's that's it. So yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah, exactly. Michigan is Balaam. Oh, it's like I am Arquebus with Snail, except with Michigan, it's actually true. He actually is Balaam. Oh, that's so true. So he never has to say it. He never has to say the words out loud. We just know. With Snail, he just wants it to be him so bad. Yeah. That's when you Susie said that's where my brain instantly went, Niles.
Manages to survive, hiding out here all that time, even as Wu Huahai turned coat and as Iguasu pressed on further.
Good work, Gun 13. You always did work hard for me. Handled all my requests. And yet...
Watch out!
Gun 13 Raven. I can't trust you. Commander Michigan, everyone, they're dead. Because of you, Gun 13. You and that curse number!
Red is suffering from severe PTSD.
Obviously.
He dies in abject terror.
It was when you came to the Red Guns. We'll never be safe with number 13 cursing us. Never! Iguasu! Did the curse take you too? Damn it! Damn you!
Our final obstacle is Pater, piloting one of the PCA's LCs in favor of his own AC. He's one of the last remaining Vespers, though he's yet to confirm Snail's death.
You killed V3. You killed O'Keefe. Damn you. He always looked out for me. Damn it, O'Keefe. V3 Peter. It's got a nice ring to it.
This dude's psycho.
Once I made sure Snails did. I'll be the only one left to carry on the glory of Arquebus.
Here, we see Pater's so-called dual nature on display. He's
He doesn't know that, though.
legitimately loyal to Arquebus and
Obviously.
celebrates his promotion at the expense of his peers. But he also genuinely grieves for O'Keefe, who was close to him.
Right. I still...
Augmented Human C4621, Raven. Well done. All Mind hereby guarantees your protection. Invoking All Mind
Guarantees.
Administrator access.
Uh-huh.
Erasing all records of the subject in custody. Augmented Human C4621, Raven. Your safety is now guaranteed.
Your
Clean
safety
slate.
is not guaranteed. With you physically
Yeah,
in her
some of the
control,
LCs in
All
some of the
Mind
LCs in HD
somehow
do have
puts
like a
you to
little
sleep.
9-ball vibes to
It
them.
seems that she does this by interfering with your cerebral coral control device, whatever that is. It's the same thing that Walter used to wake you up from stasis at the start of the game. It seems that All Mind has hacked into COM, your basic robotic assistant, in what is the biggest betrayal in Armored Core 6.
Close encounters of
We
the
have
coral
entered
kind.
satellite orbit. Release the subject from stasis.
Understood, Master Allmind. Activating cerebral coral control device.
Wait, whoa, what?
We have
Hacked into COM, your basic robotic assistant, in what is the biggest betrayal in Armored Core 6.
We have entered satellite orbit. Release the subject from stasis.
Understood, Master Allmind. Activating cerebral coral control device. Augmented Human C4621 has awakened.
Raven, you've come to. No brainwave abnormalities. Thank goodness.
Deepest apologies, Raven. It was for the best that you remained asleep until the situation had settled.
While you were asleep, Overseer took control of the Xylem alone. So, in this timeline, instead of rescuing you from Arquebus, Walter and Carla have a different tool at their disposal.
Come on, I just look
instead.
up.
The HAL 826 AC, which Walter now pilots, fighting alongside Carla and her AC full course. In the other timeline, a briefing reveals that Arquebus found the HAL 826 AC in Institute City. In the Liberator of Rubicon timeline, they even put the re-educated form of Walter inside it to fight you. In this All Mind timeline, however, Walter isn't captured by Arquebus and pilots the HAL AC instead, revealing that he knew about this AC as well. So now it's an option that he can use to defend the Xylem from corporate forces instead of you.
Allow us to explain. You are in the vicinity of a closure satellite, in the Xylem's hold. As anticipated, the corporations have siphoned the coral into a single mass. All that remains is to seize the opportunity to set the coral free, so that it may carry humanity toward new horizons.
Mm-hmm.
The coral release
Take
is
over
imminent.
the whole universe.
Raven. Air. You shall be the trigger for the change to come.
So, All Mind has hidden you inside the Xylem's hold. She probably did this when it was still back in the Alien Ocean, before Overseer commandeered it. You'll recall, in the earlier mission to investigate this uninhabited city, she took over the Xylem's announcement system, so it makes sense that she'd leave you here as a trap in the Xylem. It certainly seems that she left some ghost or antigen units back in it then as well, and she seems to have infiltrated it with even more now.
A number of ghosts from our earlier infiltration remain within the control block. These two have fallen under the control of Overseer, Carla.
But while these ghosts have now been commandeered by Carla, we're still able to use them to our advantage, with Air using them to locate Carla's parasite modules controlling the Xylem.
Augmented Human C4621, Raven. sharing progress on the battle outside. Your handler is a rather capable pilot.
Walter, how's the starboard block looking?
6 pilotless ACs, all exact copies of the Vespers.
Yeah, same story over here. This is a bad joke.
Allmind has used her skills to create a set of AI Vespers to distract Overseer, while you take down the Xylem from within. But speaking of the Vespers, where is Rusty in this ending? In the Liberator of Rubicon timeline, he gets aboard the Xylem to help you thanks to a call out from Air, and even in the Fires of Raven timeline, he somehow manages to get aboard the Xylem to fight off you and Overseer. But in this timeline, he's nowhere to be seen. Did Allmind anticipate this and take him out silently in advance? She was aware of Steelhaze Ortus after all, and V3 O'Keefe did seem to be predicting that Rusty would die. At any rate, what Allmind didn't anticipate was Carla and Walter being so prepared for her incursion onto the ship. Not only do they fight off her Vesper drones, but Carla has set up lockout protocols, backing up Chaddy's AI, not unlike how she backed him up in the Liberator of Rubicon timeline. This forces Allmind
Man, she actually did take
to get
out Rusty. I'm
involved
even more
directly.
mad.
Unfortunately, it seems the enemy was one step ahead of us. Augmented Human C4621, Raven. Head to the Xylem's control center. As for Handler Walter and Carla, I will deal with them myself.
You've come, tourist. Got a message from the chief for you. Sorry, but I'm not.
I hated this mission. It's probably one of my least favorite missions.
Proxy activation. Emergency protocol. Xylem lockout.
Augmented Human C4621, Raven.
And it felt like it was never going to end.
The Xylem will be irrecoverably forced into a collision
How it
course.
felt. I just kept oh, this last one. Nope. Oh, it's the last one. Nope. Oh, it's the last one. Nope.
Job to do.
Over and over again.
I will eliminate you, tourist.
Walter, there's something behind you.
That's an Institute machine. No.
The control system security is down. Access the central device, Raven.
A slow walk forward.
Sorry, Chief. You gave me life. But in the end, I never learned to laugh.
Really killing Chatty now.
The Xylem control system is silent.
Augmented Human C4621, Raven. Your efforts have averted a collision with the vascular plant. Additional. Handler Walter and Cinder Carla have been dealt with.
Shortly after this, the final mission begins, with the crushed torso of Carla's AC floating through space, and Walter's decapitated AC lying immobile at Allmind's feet.
That was a cool detail in
The
this
coral
ending.
siphoned by the corporations is beginning to resonate. Augmented Human C4621, Raven. Your role has come to an end.
That implies this version of Iguasu did it, which I'm like, really? More or less standard Iguasu did that? Really?
Well, well. I've been waiting for this freelancer. I became part of this monster so I could crush you. This time, you will die.
Yeah, I guess you'd have a gang
properly
squad,
understand
that's true.
this fight, I think we need to look at cut dialogue. I believe it offers some really valuable insights
cut dialogue,
to
here we go.
what's actually going on here. But
May have heard
I do
some
want to
either
stress
most or
that
all this already,
a lot
but
of the
in
dialogue
this
you're about to
context, be
hear
more
is cut
enlightening.
content and naturally should be taken with a grain of salt. Okay, so in this first phase, Allmind Iguasu fights alongside a set of other mechs, and in cut dialogue, Air has this to say about them.
Raven, they're controlling those mechs simultaneously, channeling multiple psyches at once.
So, these other mechs might not be the typical AI-piloted drones that we've seen before. Like Iguasu, they're beings that have been integrated into All-Mind. They
Shadow
are the ghosts
Wizard Money
of other
Gang, welcome in,
pilots.
Zero. Oh gosh, I almost forgot about that.
Freelancer, you killed me, but not
Yes, I
just
did.
once. Well, there's a whole lot of us inside of me now. Dregs with a grudge.
So tell me, who else are you going to kill?
As for how All-Mind can integrate someone's brainwaves, well, this is actually nothing new to All-Mind. Her laser orbit part even reveals that it was developed by All-Mind's neuroengineering division. The dark implication being that this weapon uses a real or replicated nervous system to identify targets. In Phase 1,
Yeah, it's
Air
pretty
is
dark.
busy retrieving an ephemera AC from the Institute, which she eventually brings to the fight. And as for Iguasu, he's currently piloting Mind Gamma, one of All-Mind's AC integration subjects you would have fought in the arena. But in Phase 2, a new machine is brought in, one that can make better use of Iguasu's hatred.
Iguasu, this body won't last.
Guess it's time.
You are aberrations to the plan.
Irregulars. We will bring order to chaos.
You might have noticed that this craft is similar to the one that Air pilots against you in the Fires of Raven timeline, and you'd be right. That was IB-07 Sol 644. It was an IBIS series craft, powered and controlled by Coral, and in cut dialogue, Air explains why All-Mind's craft here looks similar.
By the way, I want these guns. These guns are sick. With like these multi-barrel guns on the outside with a blade in the middle. These things are disgusting. This is a seriously freaking cool weapon right here. Just design-wise, I love how this looks.
To that.
Raven, that's an emulation of the IBIS series, but it's powered by...
When integrated in an aggravated state, human brainwaves function much the same as Coral.
The implication here, I think, is that instead of being simply powered by Coral, like Sol, this craft emulates that effect with aggravated human brainwaves, making Iguasu the perfect psyche to channel.
I'm all for Weapon Arms 2, Ulti. It's been my favorites for a long time.
Iguasu's
Through multiple
hatred's
series,
resonating with
games in the
Coral.
series. Love
It's
Weapon
powerful.
Arms.
But you've never stopped feeling this pressure.
Air can feel this resonance when she joins in Phase 2, because it's in this phase that Iguasu notices her for the first time and realizes that it was his proximity to Air that was causing the ringing, the voices, the pain and paranoia in his head.
I'm with you, Raven. Now, I can fight by your side. I'll support you, Raven.
That damn noise. It was you all
Playing
along.
Air. Nice. I like it.
I'll kill you and the Freelancer.
It makes sense that All-Mind has no problem killing you. As you learn from death dialogue in previous missions, Air lives on
there.
after your death, and
I mean, look at that.
All-Mind
Look at that laser chain gun. It's so cool. Look at the animation in slow motion again.
As you learn from
It's
death
so
dialogue
good.
in previous missions, Air lives on.
Oh
after
man,
your
I love
death,
it.
And All-Mind only really needs Air. All that said, even if you're dead, All-Mind seems confident that she can integrate you and your wave mutation and trigger Coral release.
C4621, Raven. C-Pulse wave mutation, Air. You are the trigger for Coral release. We will make you one with us. Air, your siblings will surely welcome us.
I don't think All-Mind just wants Coral release for its own sake. If she did, then she would be content to simply let Air and
that was
Raven
like a DBZ move.
initiate
Look at
it.
this.
Then Mind just wants Coral
Spin.
release for
Look at
its
this.
own sake.
Whoop, whoop.
If
back
she
in there,
did, then she would be
charging laser.
content to simply let
seriously.
Air and Raven initiate it by themselves. No, she wants Coral Release with her at the helm. She wants to be the entity that is spread throughout the universe. It's this hubris that led to this arguably unnecessary fight, and it's here that she makes a crucial misstep.
Iguasu, you are one with All Mind. No one can stop you now.
I said I don't care about All Mind.
Transform.
Want some of this? I'll give it to you.
Iguasu doesn't want to be unstoppable. He
There's
doesn't
some
want
sick animations
All
in there too. I mean, look
He
at
just
that. You ever noticed this transition before? Look at this
You are
transition.
one with All Mind.
That one's instant. You don't
No
see it very
one
good.
can
But look at the
stop you
next
now.
transition. Look at this.
I said I don't care about All Mind.
Oh, so
Want some of this?
good.
I'll give it to you.
Iguasu doesn't want to be unstoppable. He doesn't want All Mind. He just doesn't want to
By
be
the way,
unstoppable.
shades of the multi-saw blade from Verdict Day right there. It's the vibe I get from that one right there.
He doesn't want All Mind. He just wants the freelancer dead. All Mind does not understand this, or at least she overlooks it. And that makes a lot of sense because All Mind is this entity that focuses on everything at such a system level. She thinks so little of the human
The grind
links in a
blade.
chain, as she mentions in a previous mission. And I find it so poetic that it's this petty, irregular human called Iguasu that eventually undoes her entire operation. His sheer hatred resonating with the coral, shutting out All Mind and Air.
Shut up! I'll shut you
Enter
off!
phase 3. Okay, that's a nice shot. Okay. Props to you for that one, Vaati. That's a nice touch. Well done.
It's resonating.
Iguasu, what are you?
Interference. I'm losing sync. I can't fight anymore.
They're gone. The ringing, the stupid voices. It's all clear now. I feel good. Now, it's just you and me.
You were a mistake, Iguasu. Irregular.
In every mission with Iguasu, you either one-up him or defeat him. From 621's perspective, this was probably never done out of spite, but that's not how Iguasu saw it. With an excruciating ringing in his ears, all he saw was a better pilot silently laughing at him. And in the end, he admits the truth.
I always envied you. The freelancer who had it all.
Our plan,
Oh, the salty shot.
creation's
That wasn't
potential.
necessary, Vaati. He's already dead. Stop shooting him.
A core All Mind motivation is revealed here. She wants to see humanity through to its full potential, no matter the cost. We are creation's potential, something Air herself echoes in dialogue
Yeah, it is. It's a mixture of Walter parts and Ortis parts, but with the loader forehead.
as well. Air states that humanity assumed its current form to fight itself, to choose from infinite selections. That is the essence of the human race.
Also
the
using
key
core weapons,
to
which is a nice
biological
touch.
evolution.
We have the trigger. And we'll pull it ourselves. It's beginning. Coral release. Isn't it beautiful?
Anyone else feel like they doomed the world with this ending? Because that's how I felt. Like, I feel like I'm like, all right, I'm dooming the whole universe. Hooray!
First, the collapse, and then the release.
The AC6 trailer music comes back in here again.
Thank you, Raven.
In this moment, Raven and Air experience even deeper symbiosis, and they are themselves spread, present in the coral that's now been projected across the universe.
Yeah, I'm with you. The red black hole, I was not expecting either. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I'm with you. I wasn't expecting that one either.
Raven, you're finally awake. The coral has carried us, disseminated us across the stars. Now, we're everywhere. Anywhere.
I assume these ACs here are what remains of some old, faraway war, able to be controlled by
Skyrim
whatever we are
meme.
now.
Raven, let's meet this new age together.
What we don't see here is how this
Thanks on the left.
Raven Air Coral release affects humanity. Dolmayan's writings made it clear that he believed coral release would be a tragedy for all mankind. V3 O'Keefe suggests that humanity would be lost in this process, and O'Keefe might not have just been talking about himself. So, are all human minds now experiencing contact from this coral surge? If so, is this contact affecting everyone in the same way?
Everyone gets
Are
it.
all minds
You get a wife
to
who
it?
calls you stud
Or
muffin. You get a wife who
do you have to
calls
be
you
an
stud
augmented
muffin.
human for that? Or is contact with humanity still a state that needs to be worked towards? We don't know. And I think that's intentional. In O'Keefe's words, we are chasing a possibility we cannot possibly understand. And that's kind of what's terrifying about coral release. The unknown. It's very Lovecraftian in that way. It's very eldritch. The name of this ending in Latin is Alia iacta est. It translates to the die is cast, as in the dice has been thrown. The result, what it will land on, is unknown. In an excellent video by Ratataska on this ending, he brings up
Welcome in,
that
Cerberus.
the Latin name of this ending
Good to see you.
refers to the moment where Julius Caesar led his army across the Rubicon River in northern Italy. For Caesar, the Rubicon was the point of no return, and indeed, this moment inspired another phrase called crossing the Rubicon, which means
By the way, if you haven't already, go give. If you're on the Twitch side, don't mind give Cerberus a follow. Go ahead. Recently started doing the whole Armored Core thing more. Other things too, but really pushed Armored Core 6 came out. So happy to push other Armored Core content creators and people out there. So go give them a follow if you haven't already.
passing
Go
of
back a little bit here just
the
to hear this again.
Rubicon was the point of no return in northern Italy. For Caesar, the Rubicon was the point of no return, and indeed, this moment inspired another phrase called crossing the Rubicon, which means passing a point of no return. Excellent video, check it out. So we, humanity, air, the coral, it has crossed the Rubicon. The die is cast, as Dolmayan feared, and whatever the future holds, there's no going back. But this is Armored Core, after all, and with every new age
Main system, activating combat mode.
comes war. Thank you for watching. This video is so long.
3.5
Well
minutes.
done sticking it through this far. I like to watch videos where you can sort of break them up into multiple viewing sessions, and I hope for your sake that you did that with this video. Originally, this video was going to be like 6 videos, and then it was going to be 2, and then I decided just to make one video with everything in it instead. As always with my videos these days, this wouldn't have been possible without the help of others, who helped to make this video even better than the sum of its parts. First, huge shout out to Miss Pap1, my project partner, who captured and did the majority of the editing for this beautiful cinematic footage that really elevated this video to another level entirely. They literally pioneered what cinematic footage can look like in AC6, as long as you have the proper camera modding tools, and for that we have Chain Failure to thank. Chain incorporated so many things on our requested feature list for this camera tool, and they worked tirelessly to create what is now, I'm pretty confident in saying, the best camera mod available for AC6. And now this is something that you can use as well for your own projects as well. There's a link to it in the description. Also, shout out to VLimit, who helped with the edit of this video in its later stages of production. VLimit runs this fantastic YouTube channel with AC and Elden Ring content as well, and I reckon you guys would enjoy it, so please check them out. Thank you for the help. Next, I have something to show you guys. So this is my lore mind map for AC6, and it is huge. We basically transcribed every single piece of dialogue from every single mission, and you can see the missions extending horizontally across 3 different timelines in the game.
Oh, he's still, dude. That much storyboarding is absurd. Oh, don't worry about service. Don't worry about it at all. Seriously, don't. Like, seriously, I'm not on the end of like, please give me stuff. So don't worry about it. That's an absurd amount of pre-work. My gosh.
Aim here, and then extending down vertically in each mission as the dialogue plays out. Huge thanks to Absa and Zard, who I commissioned to help me compile all of this. That was a monumental task. If you want access to this map, that's something that's available to patrons, because unfortunately I can't make this publicly available to thousands of people because of the software, so I kind of have to limit it. So Patreon is kind of the logical way for me to do that. So please check out my $5 tier on Patreon if you're interested in getting access to this lore map.
I'm halfway to grab that
as well. I also want to thank Grey Caliber.
I'm not patron to him.
Made a lot of useful observations
doing it
on the STV sketches, and who has a channel dedicated to showing off a lot of cut or hidden dialogue in AC6. Check it out. Getting towards the end, thanks to John and Xavier as well. John did these fantastic pieces of art in the STK sketch style, and Xavier did a great job animating them. We wanted to give a bit more punch to these sketches and try to bring these characters to life a bit, and I think it turned out great. Finally, Professor Nagai, who speaks in this animation, was voiced by Rice Pirate, who contributed this incredible voice acting to this project, and who managed to really bring this previously voiceless character to life. And that's it. Special thanks again to Miss Pap for being my project partner in particular. Thanks to everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
And there it is. Wow. That is... Wow. Okay. I'm not sure where to go. Like, there's not a lot to argue with here. Like, there's only a couple times in the entire thing that I would somewhat argue with the points he was making guesswork wise. But honestly, only having 2 or 3 things I would kind of argue about out of 5.5 hours is ridiculous. Yeah, and that's true too. He gave a lot of good shout outs. Like he gave shout outs throughout it, and the very end there was good. So yeah, that's awesome. And the fact he showed us how his mind and brain work now, that how the like the storyboarding and work process work for this, that's nuts. And Cerberus, yeah, I mean, I love AC6 too. Like I love it a lot. It's not my favorite either, but I enjoyed all the ACs differently for different reasons. I feel like they all fill their own niche. Story wise, I completely agree. It's probably the best one we've had story wise. I think the best AC, as far as my personal opinion goes, is probably still Last Raven. I think when I think peak AC, I think Last Raven. I know, but some people like pink AC, they think, you know, For Answer, which it's to each their own. It's just different. It's different people's opinions and thoughts as far as what they prefer and preferences. So it's yeah. So people are making jokes, and I understand the jokes. There's no story here. I could wax eloquent for a very long time. I'm not going to. About how people don't understand. I've talked about a couple other streams, a couple of videos. They don't understand subtlety. Like 6 is a very good example of using subtle tones, subtle animations, subtle dialogue to paint what's basically as a mystery picture. You get little tidbits of nuggets of information through various pieces, and it requires, less is more, exactly. It requires you doing multiple playthroughs to get different things and pieces out of it in order to try to wrap together its own individual story. So, and yeah, it's more overt than most of the other games, like the Souls games, even Elden Ring. The story's like, what's the story? There's some cool stuff that happened a while ago, magic and stuff. Like it's not clearly laid out. I don't know. It's just, when I mean by more subtlety, it's not designed to be like, here, sit down and watch. Well, jokingly enough, we just watched a 5.5 hour lore video. It's not like, hey, sit down and watch this 10-minute cutscene. That's not, and do that like 30 times throughout the game. That's not what this is. It's not going to periodically just massive lore dump you with a crazy cinematic with people talking and showing it. It's not what this is. The story is conveyed through, it's almost like what I would call like a radio drama in a sense. It's conveyed almost entirely via voice acting. Like the story is told through voice and some text if you find the data logs and things to fill in some pieces. It's almost like a radio drama. So if you look at it that way, it makes a lot more sense. You basically have a radio drama that has, as far as story-wise goes, that has mixed plays of mid-game information that you can find, as well as in between pieces that also you can find that cement what the radio drama is telling you. So I feel like that people have understood that part. I feel like, yeah, I don't know how much of the there's no story in Armored Core 6 is really, I know it's kind of a joke at this point. It's a bit of a meme, but at the same time, there were some legit people who actually thought that. Like it's that's what I mean by less is more. It's not designed to be in your face. It's designed for you to go find it. And it's easily available and easily can be found if you just watch and pay attention. Good afternoon, K-Pan. Welcome in. Well, evening for me, but afternoon for you maybe. It's just the story is just spread. It's almost like a spider web of information. Like it's spread, like you have like information you start off with, and it webs out, and you need to go to each individual strand to get it all. That's kind of what it is. So yeah, it's just, yeah. People said no story. I never took those people seriously in the first place, and that's honestly their opinion. I either think one, they skipped all the voice dialogue, which they probably did, or two, they never played the game in the first place. Those are my two guesses. And even, yeah, there's lots of callbacks. There's lots of nostalgia in here too. And by the way, Cerberus, my personal favorite AC game is Nexus. So you're in good company over here. My personal favorite's Nexus. Now there's a lot of reasons for that one. I actually talked about it in my top 5 AC videos from before AC6 came out. But yeah, it's when I think third gen, I think third gen. Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like they rolled through the game with audio off. Yeah, exactly. You ever play Omega Boost? Oh gosh, I've heard the name Omega Boost in forever. I haven't heard that in so long. I remember that game, actually. Omega Boost. Yeah, it's good. So I don't know. I don't. I said the people said no story. I just didn't take him seriously, which I think is kind of the best way to go about it. Just don't take him seriously. Okay. Well, that's it for that. Thank you all for joining me on this ride. That was insane. Well done, Vaati. I don't know if you ever actually see this video. I have no idea. I know we chatted for like a whole 2 seconds, but if you actually end up ever watching this video, Vaati, I do hope you get some enjoyment out of it. I know it's even longer than, I know your 5.5 hour video with me ends up being like 7 hours or so, but you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's okay, so let me get something on my chest here for a second. You guys ready for a soapbox here? Let me get some music going. I feel like it's too quiet. Let me get some music going. Cleric's gonna get in a soapbox for just a minute here. For just a minute here. Let me load up my shock music playlist. Turn down a little bit, cool down. All right, in the background, there we go. All right, so here's what I was gonna say. You know, I almost feel like I need to get like a widescreen of this. Give me a second. You guys can enjoy the visualizer along with me. Let me change this out. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. None of those are it. You're not helping me here, game. All right, whatever. There's gotta be a way to do that. Add window capture. Why is it not working? Media player, do your thing. You know what? Fine. I'm just gonna do this. Window. I'm just gonna do window capture. Just make it the entire freaking window. There we go. There you go. Now you get the visualizer along with me. Be mesmerized. Okay. What I was going to say, there's been some talk lately. I saw a lot of hate in general. I saw it on Reddit. I saw it in some of my comments. I hid those comments. I saw it on the AC Discord and a few other places. People were hating on this so much. They're like, I don't know why they're gonna bother. The guy is just basically stealing other people's content. He's not even gonna get proper credits for it. He's basically gonna take other people's sources and use it as his own and basically make money off of it. Like there's all this stuff. I'm just like, I'm looking at him, it's like, so if anyone watched Striker 505's video, when he asked a bunch of different people what they think AC6 got right, what do they got wrong, and what do you think you'd improve for future things. And when I mentioned the what you got wrong part, I mentioned how bad the lack of crossplay hurt this game. And like, no crossplay hurts any game. I understand this, but it's multiplied to an extreme degree for Armored Core 6 versus other games. Armored Core is already such a niche series, and it's so niche to the point where the fact that it not having crossplay hurts it more because of the player base is so much smaller. It was a bad thing before when it was split between Xbox 360 and PS3. It's bad. It was really bad back then. Now you're dividing between Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Now, when it comes to other games, huge selling games, things like Elden Ring, which set like records, you know what? It doesn't matter as much to them because they have a huge player base to work off in the first place. The PC player base for Elden Ring alone, for example, was probably bigger. It's probably even currently bigger on just the PC than all three of the Armored Core 6 system, ecosystems combined. So the fact that it was never even a thought process, the fact how much that was going to be a detriment to this game, that I realized, I know From just, I didn't expect it because I know From just doesn't do that. But at the same time, crossplay not being here hurts this game even more than others because the player base is already so small. And when you dissect the player base even smaller on an already minuscule basis, it makes it so bad. So to use that same kind of argument, right? To understand my mindset of what I'm about to say, there were so many people who didn't understand, why are you hating on Vaati making this video so much? Why are you? It's like it's my problem. I mentioned this early on in one of my early videos right before A6 came out, where I talked about how you don't be a gatekeeper in Armored Core. Like, don't be a gatekeeper. Don't be a gatekeeper. One of the biggest problems I've had, and those understand my history, I've been a part of multiple Armored Core forums. I helped start one of the bigger Armored Core forums, and I was an admin on the biggest Armored Core forum in history. We had over 500,000, registered users on the forum. We had 20,000 daily active users on this forum. It was a busy place, okay? It was Armored Core dedicated forum back in the day. People gatekept Armored Core so hard, it drove me up a wall. What they would do, they gatekeep super hard. They gatekeep so hard. Like, I mean, it's almost like the FGC thing, which I have some problems with FGC subs too. But it's the get good mentality, which I don't mind the get good mentality as long as it's prepositioned on the fact that you want to generally for them to improve their skills and their building ability and their ability to pilot their AC. I don't like the get good mentality when it's just designed to push people out because you don't want to bother with them. I'm all for suggesting people improve their ability to play and improve themselves. I don't like it when it's an excuse just to screw with people. And man, the amount of gatekeeping that has gone on in Armored Core since its earliest community days has been a problem forever. It's been a problem forever. And it just, And I saw with AC6 happening, and that's why I made the video. I said, don't be a gatekeeper with this. It's not a good thing. And the game came out, it got super popular. Those people kind of quieted down for a little bit. And then within a couple weeks of the game's release, it was right back to it. Hating on the game, hating on all the new players, hating on all the FromSoft fans, saying that this isn't your Dark Souls, get out of here, basically. Get your souls out of my Armored Core. And it's not even, they're not even trying to make like logical points. They're just basically being spiteful for the sake of being spiteful. And it doesn't help anything. It doesn't improve the game. It doesn't improve the community. It doesn't improve any of those things. It doesn't make it better. Look, were there some Souls-like things in the game? Yeah, there's a couple little pieces. You definitely the stagger bar, for example, a couple little pieces you can get some Souls mechanics out of it. But this, as I said, what I thought was so funny about this was that Armored Core 6 felt more like 3rd gen than Armored Core 4 and 5 ever did. Armored Core 6 feels more like 3rd gen AC than 4th gen and 5th gen AC ever did. Yet somehow it's almost universally more hated than 4 Answer 5th gen is for a lot of for the old gen heads, like me being an old gen head myself, right? It's like, my problem is, if you don't embrace the new fandom, if you don't give them a chance to grow into the series, you're going to continue to pigeonhole the community into this little tiny core base of people and never expand outside of it. And the game is small enough as is that you don't need to do that. It'll do it on its own. Natural attrition of fan bases and new games coming out and people when they play new stuff will naturally do that over time. Why is there no visualizer? That's weird. Whatever, mail come back later. So that's where it's at. That's my problem. It still happens now, and I still say, when I saw people make comments on this video, and Armored Core deserves more, exactly, Lana, thank you. It deserves more exposure. It deserves more exposure. Like I've always said, this has been my favorite series, game wise, since, like I said, back in the 90s, the original demo disc. For Pete's sake, I run an Armored Core centric, YouTube channel. I've had it for 12 years now. Just recently became a thing where I actually can kind of do it and have some fun and also make a little bit of side money on it. That's never the goal though. I just love Armored Core. I helped run and did multiple in-person tournaments, did online tournaments. Been a part of multiple communities over the years and helped run them. Like, I just love this series, and I was happy. And all Vaati is going to do is give it more exposure. And you know what else this video does? It throws in the face of the people who said there's no story here. Okay, here's a 5.5 hour lore video that says otherwise. Exactly. It's exactly, Cerberus. It's objectively a good thing. Like, this is a good thing. It's like all these Souls players coming to play AC. Good. We need new players. Like, I'm turning 40 in a couple years. Like, we need some young blood in here. Like, I'm all for Armored Core dads. Hooray dads, hooray Armored Core grandpas. Whatever. But we need some new blood in here. We do. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. We have new blood and more blood. I mean, there's a lot of people who haven't played the game in a long time who came back because of Armored Core 6. I've talked with people I haven't talked to in 15 years because of this game. Lily, I have talked to people that I have not talked to from the old Armored Core scene that I haven't talked to in 15 years. It's cool. That's what this game did. So then I wasn't planning on starting another Armored Core community, and I kind of did with my Discord a little bit. It's amazing. Like Niles, welcome in, Niles. Like earlier, it's like it's his first AC game. He's about to get his first playthrough. He's going to get air right now. Welcome to the family, dude. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking through your comments and things. It's just people need to learn when it comes to this series, especially longtime fans, to just take the W. Just take the win. Is the game perfect? No, it's far from perfect, but it's still a really good game. It's still a good game. Still a thoroughly enjoyable experience. Just because it may not have been what you were wanting or what you were hoping for doesn't mean it's not good. Like, that's my biggest problem. It's that's not Armored Core crowd. That's always bothered me. That's not Armored Core. By the way, when Fortune came out, it was that's not Armored Core. When 5th Gen came out, that's not Armored Core. And now it's 6th Gen came out, that's not Armored Core. Literally, it's what they do. And now that, by the way, and now that 5th Gen, you know, the servers got shut off, suddenly so many people were fawning over a 5th Gen. Oh, hey Smiley, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate you. Thank you. And now people are like, oh man, 5th Gen was so good. Like, dude, I haven't heard people talk about 5th Gen this fondly ever. Then as soon as the servers get shut down, suddenly people seem to love it again. It's like, come on now. Come on. I'm not saying 5th Gen hasn't always had its fans. I know it has. My friend from Chang, who helped me start, you know, was the impetus, the origin of Armored Core Legacy, which I helped him start. Yeah, it's a huge 5th Gen fan. Loved it. I know it's always had its fan base, but I've seen more people giving glowing remarks and fond memories of 5th Gen that I never saw before. So the 5th Gen's gone, so they boom, done. It's like, oh, that was a great game, way better than we have now. It's like, that's not what you were saying 10 years ago. It's not what you were saying 10 years ago. And that's what bothers me. So it's like, you know more about it, Smiley. I'm just glad you're here. So that's my issue with it. Like, hey, you want a funny anecdotal thing? Want a funny anecdotal thing? You know what we had? We had people. Two things, two really kind of sad and funny stories. In our big Midwest community, we had people who quit, which after Nexus came out instead of Silent Line, and refused to play Nexus after they first played it, went back to playing Silent Line because there was no Plus anymore. I'm not joking. Because Human Plus was gone. Like, oh, no Plus, I can't play this game. And so they wouldn't. 1. 2, a lot of those same people and some extra people, because it now has dual analog controls that took all the skill out of the game. Only tank controls show true skill and give you true control of your AC. Dual analog controls takes the skill out of the game. Sorry, the game's trash now. Those were literally takes back when Nexus came out. Those aren't jokes. That's not me making that up. That's literally what some people said back then. I'm like, dude, this game needed dual analog sticks like 5 years ago. It needed dual analog 5 years ago. Yes, Cerberus, they did. Some people honestly did. There were some people, by the way, who played which, by the way, in Nexus and Ninebreaker and all the way through Last Raven, you had the option of doing what's Type A controls or Type B controls. So you can still use the old school control scheme on your controller to play like what I call Gen 3.5. And some of them did. They were still playing what we call tank controls now, the classic AC controls, still when the new games came out, because it was as an option. They said it was superior, it was better. I'm like, my brain. My brain was blown. Like, blah, 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 blah. But they were legitimately people like that. That's how they were. And those are kind of the same people we have now. AC6 being out, who are complaining, this is not my Armored Core. It's like, oh, come on now. Like that stuff just needs to stop. All right. Welcome the new fan base. Get some new blood and better blood in here. Expand the fan base. Make it more popular. Give From Software a reason to make more core. The more information, the bigger the player base, the more feedback, and the more interest people show in this game, the more Armored Core we will get in the future. That is what needs to happen. It needs to happen. So yeah, there you go. Sandbox, soapbox over. I'm getting off the box now. I'm getting off the box now. I need to get that out. I've seen so many people throwing hate towards Vaati with this video that I'm just people are just like, you should be watching Armored Core lore instead. Like, dude, I've advertised Armored Core lore on my video on my channel multiple times. I love his stuff. You should definitely go support him. But yeah, Vaati just gives it more eyes, which is good things. All right. Anyways, there it is. Is it soapbox over? It's done. Done with it. All right. So for those who don't know, I'll either be streaming either Thursday or Saturday. I don't know yet. I'll be going back to the scrap heap mod, doing 3 times the enemies. The intention is to try to get the Red Guns mission under my belt and a couple other missions. So I don't know. We'll call it that. We'll call it that the AC Dad, venting session or something. I don't know. Armored Core Dad gets upset, tells people how it is. No. The plan is to go back to Scrap Heap mod next time. Triple the enemies. Try to get the Red Guns mission under my belt. Maybe a couple other missions as a warm up first. See if I can conquer that beast, and then we'll start moving on to other things. I'm still working on my super secret Armored Core project. Can't wait for that thing to come out. I think a lot of people, both new and old school, will really like it. I'm digging real deep for this one. Taking some work and some investigative journalism to get some of this stuff figured out. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with lots of people. So yeah, let's find somebody to raid here on the Twitch side, and we'll see if we can make somebody's day. Oh, Chivy's going. Freya's going. I like both. I might go Freya. Yeah, I think we'll go Freya. Oh yeah, Cerberus. If you had to witness some of the garbage I went through in the younger burgeoning of the AC community, it would have been, oh gosh. My nickname back in the old forum days was the Voice of Reason, because I usually had to chill things out because it was bad. That was literally my nickname back then, was the Voice of Reason, because people would just get insane sometimes. All right, thank you all for joining me for Vaati's video. That was a lot of fun. Thank you all for letting me rant for a little bit and chiming in. I'm gonna raid Freya here, and we will see you all next time. Yep.